I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you? Tutti guardi qui! Noi dove sei? Attento! Da questa parte!
Ma che diavolo?
Scappate!
La porta è bloccata!
Sto arrivando! Sto venendo da questa parte! Seguimi, Sofia! Tieni via!
Hey, this is Matt. Once again, welcome back to another video. There's another paid request, this time from Guillermo. As for the Laplace's Demon from 2017. Now, first off, anyone interested in requesting pretty much any type of videos. Could be reviews, could be topics, could be reactions, could be as random as me playing a game or talking about a list or whatever. Feel free. You can send it either directly to my PayPal or join my... Both links are down below in the info box. Now, the Laplace Demon, I had never even heard of this movie. It's in black and white. And I thought this film was very interesting. Do I have issues with it? Sure. Characterizations are a bit shallow, one-dimensional. The ending, I would change certain things about it. But I thought it was a very interesting and, dare I say, original movie that I know a lot of people like The Lighthouse. I'm sorry, this to me was more interesting than The Lighthouse. They're both black and white movies. They're both artistic films. But I thought this had a more intriguing setup. And it didn't need Willem Dafoe jerking off. The idea of the Laplace Demon, which is, what if mathematically you get to such minute ideals of the numbers that you can literally predict everything that's going to happen? What if we are predictable and incapable of free will? How would that play out? Mix in that idea with a black and white, old dark mansion type of movie that you would see in the 1930s. And this is a film made by a handful of people. I thought I read somewhere it took like 7 years to make this. I don't think that's right. I must have read it wrong, but you tell through the credits there's only a handful of people. Do you see the names repeated over and over again? And it's done in a way where you could tell they only had a few bits of material to work with, not too much money to work with, but it's directed in such a stylish way. Much you would see in those films in the 30s, with lighting, with certain up-close face shots of people, or the way the light reflects someone and the camera's like right here, or the camera's is at an angle like this while people are looking, the way it deals with suspense. Very intriguing. And the setup of the film is a small team of scientists are asked to go to this island where there's this mansion. And they want to show off their research, a way to predict the future. For example, this glass, if this glass breaks, based on mathematics, we could predict how many pieces of glass will be left after that gets shattered. A way to predict almost anything. So when they get there, and there's about 8 people, they get in, and then they find this model of the mansion. And within the model of the mansion are these 8 chess pawns. And then they start moving on themselves. And like, what's going on? Is this supernatural or no? These pawns are part of this mechanism of this mansion, and they're moving by themselves based on the mechanism. But the thing is, they're moving in the exact same way as the actual people. So one's moving left, you have one pawn going like this. One's moving over here, it's going the same way. And so the characters start to realize that whoever sent them there, they have their own Laplace demon mathematical equation that this person has predicted their movements to such a T that even the pawns and this machine is mimicking everything they do because the guys predicted everything. I know that sounds confusing, but it's not as confusing when you look at it than the way I'm explaining. I thought that was such an intriguing idea that there are times where the movie will be on the model of the mansion and the chess pieces. And because now we know they represent the people, they'll be moving around, and in our heads we know those are the people, and there happens to be someone or something, I should say, chasing them and taking them out one by one. And on the model, that's represented as the Black Queen. So you see this Black Queen chasing the chess pawns, and we know what that's representing. The chess pawns are people. So you have chasings done with these pawns of chess. That, again, is such an interesting idea. Or, for example, the characters will see the queen going down the steps of the model. And as it goes down each step, they're hearing this loud pounding. It connected to this queen piece going down the toy steps. Here's something going down the big actual steps. And that's what I mean, like, that's not something I've ever seen before. And the way it's directed and how moody and how certain scenes are developing the suspense, like someone's looking around the corner, come back to them, come back to other people's faces, ratchet up faster and faster and faster. Or speak of the predictability, there's a VHS tape. And no matter what they do with the VHS tape, the person on the tape answers perfectly, as if they're talking in real time. They can fast forward, they can rewind it, again, as if every move has been predicted. So in other words, it's if Saw made sense in a weird way. Because Saw, you're like, how the hell does Jigsaw predict everything? At least here, they give a rationalization of it. And again, the fact it's done in black and white, and the lighting, and I thought it had some good atmosphere, mood to it. The way it showcases some of the characters. Again, I had not seen it done that way before. I thought it was rather interesting. The go more into spoiler. Well, before I go to that, like I said, The characters are one-dimensional. There's really nothing to them. They're pretty shallow. You have the guy who's a bit more of the man of action. One of them is a lady. One of them is the boat captain who wants to get out of there. And, are you guys playing this trick on me? You have one who's a bit of the carefree, kind of jokester type. I wouldn't say the acting is bad. It's just, again, there's really not much to chew on character-wise. Like I said, the ending... But the ending makes sense because of what the story is, so there's that. But he said it was a lot more interesting, I keep using that word, fairly original. I find it sad that The Lighthouse got so much praise for, being in black and white, how artistic. I'm sorry, this film I got more out of. I thought it was more surprisingly good. Not perfect, but they get more into spoilers starting now. Like the scene when, in the model, they see that the queen is in the room of where their as pawns are in. Oh, it must be in the room here. And wait, it's there, so it must be over here. And they're looking around, and the building suspense. Where are they? Where are they? Where are they? Where? It may sound goofy, but I thought the way it was done was rather cool. It's a mechanized device chasing them. Because again, this has all been perfected by our head guy. It's a mechanism through springs and coils. It's a coffin. Literally, it's a coffin chasing them, and will go up and grab them and take them back. And there are moments that made me think of Evil Dead. Not that I think this is on the level of Evil Dead. Okay, just Evil Dead 2, way more fun, interesting movies. I'm just saying the way it does with camera work, or how someone will look and you have the coffin go straight into the camera and open up as if to envelope the viewer. Like I said, there's definitely... It didn't seem like a lazy movie. Ambitious is the word I'm looking for. It's an ambitious film. I appreciate that. Although when the coffin's moving and on the bottom you see these sparks eliciting out these sparks, and I don't know, just the way it's edited, I thought there's some nice moments that really capitalize the suspense. And also the cleverness to me of this idea, like the two characters, they open up a curtain and they look, and they're looking at a painting, and they're confused at the painting, and they realize that the painting that they're looking at and found represents what they're doing at the exact moment, and the exact poses, and even the lighter they're holding. Again, to showcase that how explicit and predictable this whole event has been, thus proving this mathematical person's. The very end, it's kind of like you have to go into, I don't know if I want to say exposition with a spoiler, who you find out who's really doing it, and the exposition, as if literally he's explaining to himself why he needs to do what he needs to do. Something about it came off as clunky, or just like, okay, it's... I think it would have been cool if, okay, if it's predictable, what if, and saying, I didn't cause this, this is how, by the mathematics, this is how it plays out. Have some people survive. One or two people to jump out a window, but that's how it was planned. And maybe the person goes up there and he smiles and goes, it works. Just as I predicted, just as the mathematical equation went on. It said you two would survive, or one of you would survive. It worked out. And there's one more thing to do. And then he lets himself get eaten or killed by this coffin thing, because that's part of the equation. I think that would have been more satisfying. Wow, just the way, I thought the ending was just a little clunky. I mean, I get it because it's trying to go. This experiment is a success. Estimate human behavior with the same precision of a clock. But I think you could change a couple things by that method. Why could it be like one of them or two of them survive, but that's part of the equation, and at least that'd be something. And I don't know, just something about that, it would be less clunky than it is now. So yeah, the ending I would change a couple stuff, and the characters give a little bit more meat to their bones. Sorry about the edit there, but just to, I mean, I was summing up that I do quite enjoy the movie despite, again, certain issues with the characters and the ending. As I thought it was a well-directed, stylish, interesting flick with some really nice pieces of direction, building suspense. I guess I ended the video by wanting to mention here about Pierre-Simon Laplace, which this theory is based on. And this is what he said. We may regard the present state of the universe as the effect of its past and the cause of its future. An intellect which is certain moment will know all forces that set nature in motion, and all positions of all items of which nature is composed. If this intellect were also vast enough to submit these data to analysis, it would embrace in a single formula the movements of the greatest bodies of the universe and those of the tiniest atom. For such an intellect, nothing would be uncertain, and the future, just like the past, would be present before its eyes. Deep Thoughts by Jack Handy. No, just but it's interesting to think about. So with that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye bye.